All right, welcome to class. Your question, Tracy, about 4.3 with the.
Bootable Linux flash drive.
Don't worry about it. Because there's some things you won't be able to do in the VM at all. What, Kristen? Oh, you were talking to Aaron.
No, I wasn't talking.
He was talking, you were just answering, right?
No, I don't think I said anything.
She was talking to herself, actually.
No, I was trying to talk to you.
Talking about my 2 kilobyte per second internet.
Byte or bit?
Kilobit.
Oh, you're very slow.
Oh, it's not that slow. It's an exaggeration, but it's still down there.
All right, first things first. Today's lab day. What you're going to do is you're going to go into D2L. I have a PDF for you underneath your news feed. You'll open it up, and I'm going to tell you what you're not going to do. But what we're going to do today is we're going to install Snort. We'll install the rules for Snort automatically through Oink Master, so we're automatically every 30 days. I'm not kidding you, that's the name of the program. We'll pull down the rules every 30 days after they've been released so that it's absolutely free. You can pull it down, and then we will show, then we'll go visit a website, and you'll see all the HTTP packets or all the UDP packets or whatever we use. And you'll be able to see how you can actually monitor your network with Snort. Sounds like fun, huh? Okay. Everyone got the PDF pulled up?
Still logging in. It's loading.
There's a typo.
We've got to put it in our this is in our VM, right? We've got to pull it
Yes,
in.
I'm going to show you what I'm talking about.
My
Alrighty, come on. It just doesn't want to work this morning. It's cold. Alright. Doesn't take that long, come on. Alright, network security. Right here's your PDF link. So you'll copy it, paste it as a browser, and then it'll come up. Okay, here we go. No, close out that. Alright. Down here it gives you a bunch of links to go download the programs. Obviously you don't need to download Windows 7 because you're already on a Windows 7 machine. You may or may not have Firefox installed on it. I don't want you to worry about the Komodo firewall, the security analyzer, security essentials. Forget about all those. You're going to need to know, you're going to need to install Active Perl, Notepad++, Foxit Reader, Kiwi Syslog Server, and on this particular one, you're going to do the one that you'll do a 14-day trial on it, just to kind of give you an idea. 7-zip if it's not already on there. WinPcaps, and when you get to Snort, you're going to download the 2.9.6. That's 296. That's the most up-to-date Snort for that installer, and then Oink Master.
Our VMs do have the 7-zip, by the way.
Oh, they do have 7-zip on them? Okay. Well, that's one less thing you have to download and install. What you're going to do is we're going to go through it and we're going to install these particular programs. And then we'll go straight down here, skip the first couple. You're going to need to sign up under Snort so that you can actually get your rules that you need. Snort is absolutely free, so there's no cost or anything like that. No.
What's the 14-day trial thing?
That is going to be for syslog, so that when we get into graphically seeing all our logs.
So we need to start downloading at, you said Active Pearl, could you open the list again?
Yes, start at Active Pearl. Right here.
Oh, not Komodo.
No, I don't want anything above it, because that's going to mess with anything you're going to do in the future.
Active Pearl.
Start with Active Pearl, and if you're in your VM, all you have to do is just click on the link, and it goes to that site. The only one that's going to be different is Snort. PCAP is 4.2, I believe now. So just go to WinPCAP's website if it's not already installed on your system.
So everything below Active Pearl?
Active Pearl and down.
We already have it, or 7 zip.
Yep. Yes, Matthew.
Active Pearl for Windows or Windows 64-bit?
64-bit, because all these machines are 64-bit. And then what you'll do is you'll continue just going down, follow this step by step. Now, Snort, Oink Master, or TAR gzips, which means they're double compressed. Gzip is a compression tool. TAR is a compression tool for Linux. 7-zip, you have to do it twice. You undo the gzip, it takes you down to a TAR file. You undo the TAR file, and it'll expand everything so you can install it. We'll go over. I'm going to show you how we're going to. We'll do the Snort install together real quick, and then some of these other ones we can worry about here a little bit later on. All right. So we have that. What I want to do is I'm going to go into my downloads folder. Now my computer is going to look a little different than yours because I'm using a different image. Notice I have Snort 2.9.6. Alright, that's the one we're going to use. When you go to Snort and you click on downloads, it's going to give you a list of different downloads that you can use. Use the Windows installer one because you're installing it on Windows. So let me bring up the Snort page so you can see what I'm talking about. And it's snort.org. Okay, we'll go right here to download Snort, like we talked a little bit about on Monday. And then we're in here, you're going to look underneath this latest release area. And the very bottom one is the Snort 2.9.6.0 installer. That's the one you're going to want. Everyone with me?
How do you get this so that it'll actually get out of safe mode and you can actually copy these things or click on them? Is this something about Trust
Oh.
Manager?
Are you in safe mode? Then you need to reboot. I always start Windows normally. Yes.
I'm sorry, do we need to download everything below Active Pearl?
Yes.
Active Pearl? Okay, just making sure. Okay, I was gonna say, put all the information.
Don't you dare.
And this may end up being a 2-day project for us. Just because we had to install everything.
So,
But I want you to get to understand how Snort is not just one aspect. I mean, there's multiple things that you have to do to get Snort to work.
So to get to Snort, we have the 2.8.5.2 link, which we don't want because
No, just go to snort.org. That's why I'm taking you there. Still waiting for it to reboot there, Tracy? Yes, Aaron?
Is snort.org?
Snort.org.
That's just fun to say.
It's like,
This one, another one? After...
Okay, so
Now,
I'm
I was
back
checking to
with
see if I
that.
had a because I was trying to download that the other day when I was trying to put it fire.
yep.
And when I type in that on the start deal, the start, I do WinPCAP, and an option comes up for uninstall WinPCAP. Does that mean I have it or I don't?
Yes,
have it?
you have it.
So So why would it just say give the option to uninstall it?
because you've already installed it. Why do you need
Like,
to
how
install it
do I
again?
open Like, how do I open WinPCAP then?
You can't.
Oh,
It's a service.
They're not, oh, okay,
It allows you to be able to read the packets as they traverse the network.
Why are you doing that?
What's your address?
You don't know my address.
I don't have internet access on my VM.
Some do, some don't. I don't know why. Try to reboot it and see if it comes up.
It's broke.
Well, if you quit breaking it, then you wouldn't have that problem, wouldn't you, George?
I knew I shouldn't have looked at it.
Okay, so we want that one.
Yes,
That
you
link,
want the
click
Snort 2.9.6.
that. And just that one. Good.
Or you do it from one to the other way, it works better. But
Yes, Tommy.
They said mine couldn't be verified.
What couldn't be verified?
2.9.
Don't worry about it. Try to download the executable and just leave it be.
or you can
It'll be in your downloads folder.
Do we need to worry about upgrading Firefox? Is that gonna impact?
No.
us?
yeah, it's that.
Oh, would downloading everything inside of Google Chrome have been a bad idea?
Why?
No,
Okay.
just to download it on a browser. I mean, you can use Chrome, you can use Mozilla.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter. You can use IE if you want.
Foxit needed it to be Mozilla Firefox.
It was so long before I
We probably won't end up using Foxit anyway.
How do I get on trust mode?
You said that SemZip already
You were like
exists, so
I've
let's
already rebooted.
verify that. SemZip.
What'd you
Haha.
do?
What?
Says if you want to enable this function, please
Twice
check the
said
trust
that.
manager preferences to disable safe reading mode.
Uh,
I don't know what that
Here.
is.
Someone hacked you and had fun with you. It wasn't me.
Oh, I'm having the same problem.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, well, let's just do it this way. Y'all watch me.
Boo.
But now here's the thing. I'll reset all your computers after I do this image with this done.
Woohoo! Thank you.
So you can actually go in there and play with the commands on there.
Good deal.
Okay?
I like that a lot.
That way we can speed it up and we're not sitting here I'm not sitting here twiddling time and wasting your time to do it.
Since we can't do it, obviously.
Right. So what I did is I went to Snort, I went to all these links and got the newest stuff. So now I'll go ahead and close that out. All right, Snort installer. First things first, we're going to run it. You want to accept all the defaults. Okay. No matter whether you have WinPCAP or not, this is going to come up. And that's just the error saying Snort requires WinPCAP 4.1.1. All right. You know how I know I have WinPCAP? I have Wireshark on here. Wireshark enforces that it be done. So now that I've got Snort, we can come under here, under the C drive, and notice I have a Snort directory. Okay. Now there are a couple things you need to know about Snort. First off, the binary directory. What is the binary directory? Well, that's where all my DLLs are, and that's where I can run Snort when I'm from the command line. Okay. Then we have our documents directory, which gives you all your readmes and all that stuff, as if you needed it. The etc directory. Now this is where we have our configuration file that we're going to be editing. We have our library file, which we have just different things in the preprocessors. We have some more DLLs. That's all that is. So don't worry about messing with the library files. The log file, right now that's empty because we haven't run Snort. We haven't finished it. So therefore we haven't had anything installed into the log file. Makes sense, right? Now we have two other folders. One's called preprocessor rules and one's called rules. What these are, these are the rules that help to identify what kind of packets are traversing your network. Okay? So if we're looking for specific rules, these preprocessor rules, we're going to come in here and we're going to be editing these and uploading the newest rules. That's what OinkMaster is going to do for us. Okay? So every 30 days after that is released, then it will automatically update into here. So you're basically 30 days behind just as a free registered user versus a paid registered user, which would be instantaneously. Does it make sense? The rules are still going to be the same pretty much. Hey, I've got a TCP packet or I've got a UDP packet. I've got this protocol running, and we'll go over all that. The rules. There's no rules in here yet, right? Because we haven't installed OinkMaster to pull those rules down. We'll do that here in a little bit. So that's what Snort directory is about. Y'all with me there? Now, I want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and install Notepad++. Reason being, it'll be easier for you to, I'm just going to do the defaults so that you can see the line items of where things are, which I already know it's on here because I was messing around with it just a minute ago. Alright, now that we have those, let's install our Kiwi syslog. Of course, I'm extracting the folder so that we can get in there and install it. Okay. It's thinking about it, so I'm just going to close that out now that we don't have to worry about it. Notice it put it right here for me. I'm just waiting for the... One thing I like doing is after I install something, I delete it out of my downloads. Keep it clean. It also helps you kind of get an idea of what you need to finish installing. Is it still working? There it goes.
If you're trying to create like backup of stuff, I know you can only back up typically files, not programs, but what if you had a disk that just had a bunch of these installer files on there?
You
Could
can
you do that?
you can back up that.
So that would be a good idea, keeping the installer stuff like on a separate disk in case you needed to do something like that?
Exactly. All right. In this one, I want to make sure that I do the exact one I wanted to do. And this one is Kiwi. I want to do it as a service, local account. You do not want to install web access for this part
Why not?
because it's an infinite trial. If I do it with web access, I only have 14 days. There's no reason to do web access unless you're paying for it.
So we just won't get updates or something? Is that the only
Right.
difference? Okay.
Then default syslog. Yes.
You're recording all these, right?
Yes, I am. I record all my classes, Tommy. You should know that by now. Okay, syslog or Kiwi syslog is here now. And I'll go ahead and run it. See, I have that. I'm not going to really worry about that. So, I've got it minimized, right? So let's go down here.
But you closed it.
No, I just minimized it. It's right there. All right. Active Perl. Let's go ahead and run this one real quick. Don't you just love sitting here watching these things go by?
It's exciting. It's even more exciting knowing we don't have to do it because you're going to do it for us.
Yeah, I'll probably redo your drives later today
For what?
in NetSec. Just re-image everyone's drives so that they're totally up to date. And for those of you that have already done Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 all on these drives, don't worry about it. Because there's some errors going around right now, especially in our images. Because what happened is someone had changed a ISO image setting prior to me cloning all y'all's computers or all your VMs, and so it replicated to everyone, and so you didn't get your tools installed. And I'm just gonna go and create my own ISO image and just give you a nice. I may use this one that has a lot of the forensics tools already installed, so we don't have to worry about installing as much.
Question.
Yes.
I have the console open, but I'm not on my machine right now. If you were to do the update now, would that be okay? And then I wait to boot it until you were done? I know you're not going to do it right now.
No, because that you're opening a console to one that's going to go away.
Okay, so. Gotcha.
The only one that's going to be available in your list today is going to be what I give you. I'm going to take just delete all y'all's virtual disk and put on a new clone and a lot of new ones.
Please don't remove my forensics.
Why not? Oh, that's a good idea. If I have someone that I'm really mad at.
Oops. Accidentally deleted your
When you
video.
say mad,
See, now I got him worried.
I was going to fail anyway.
You know, if he's in the middle of running something and I go in and I look through his console and then I just happen to suspend his drive. Alright, Active Perl is now done. So let's delete it out of here. Okay, now we have Oink Master. What you can do is go to 7-zip, extract it to here. Now, notice I have a gzip and then I have the tar, right? Let me get rid of the gzip so that I'm not confusing myself. Now I can come back over here, extract it to here. Now I have Oink Master, right? So now I've gotten rid of all the two compressions. Now I can open this and you ask, why did I have to have Active Perl? Well, because this is a Perl file. Come on. Let me make sure I'm doing Oink Master right. And then we'll get into doing Snort. Okay. Okay, now that we have this folder right here, I'm going to take Oink Master. I'm going to put it in my Snort folder. Alright. But what I want to do is I want to do a new, I'm going to call this temp folder. And then undo that. And then I got to go into here, go into Contrib, take this one, copy it, and put it into here. And I'm going to call this, rename it, Update Snort Rules. Alright, now in Snort, okay, what did it do? Oh, okay, one other place I had to go. Yes, this is so much fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Do what?
Yes. That was rhetorical, wasn't it?
No, that's good because these things are never as simple as you think they're gonna be.
Yep.
I mean, how many of us have had errors?
Yep, read me some one too,
What is that?
One, okay, this is the one I want right here. Then where's active state? Okay, doesn't want me to. Let me make sure I got the right place here. Now let's go back up here to downloads. Didn't it download into that right folder? Alrighty.
I know. I need to stay awake.
Where did it? Did y'all see where I installed?
Installed what?
Where it saved it?
Which one? You've installed so much. Snore?
No.
Master?
Save link as user downloads. So now it should be in downloads.
Because WinRAR is for Win Terablar. Yes.
Ah, okay. You didn't want to do it from the website because it wasn't authenticated. The PMX.
I'm gonna just end here right now.
Unreal, you were a poet and you didn't even know it.
Just keep saying you don't get it.
Yeah. Fine, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way.
Which is?
Go back to snort. We won't get the graphical version, but I'll show you the other way to do it. You come in here and get rules, and then I want to pull out on the 2.9.6. Oh, sorry, I need to sign in first. Come on, Snort. There we go. Now I'm going to go down here to download 2.9.6. All right. Waiting for this to finish. We're going to 7-zip it, extract it to here. Now we have our tar, right? So let's get rid of our gzip. Come on. We're going to extract this to here. Okay. Now, notice we have our ETC, preprocessor rules, and SO rules, right? You want to cut them so that you can actually put them down in the Snort folder. And what we're doing is we've now put all these rules in here so that we're coming into rules now. You see all the rules that I have? Remember we didn't have any earlier? That's how we do it. Now, okay, I've got all those in there.
What's the point of that temp folder?
Do what?
What was the point of creating a temp folder?
That was for the other.
Oh, so we don't need it now?
No. Okay, what we're going to do now is I want to come back in here to the etc. We're going to go to the Snort conf, and I'm going to edit with the Notepad++. There are 7 major sections to the Snort configuration file. All right, as we scroll through, we'll be able to change some of these. Now, first things first. You see where it says IP var? I don't want that. I want to make them all var. So what I do is I do Control H and just make it variable.
Why?
Because IPVAR is based on IP, not just a variable name. It's just how shall I put it? Makes the variable name to be used instead of an IP variable name, because if you're giving an IP, you give an IP address. Variable name is just a string.
So it's changing it from accepting like,
IPs just to
numbers
strings.
to DNS stuff like rows.edu?
Yep.
Or, okay.
Now,
Or
If-
either one.
do what?
Will it accept either one now?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Now what you have is we have the variable folder, or the variable names on all these. If you wanted to, you could come in here and you could change your network address to be what your internal network address is and so forth and so on. But that's not what I'm looking at. Here are all the ports that web server could run on. And you thought port 80 was it. So let me just show you, how many do you think this is going to be? It's quite a bit, right?
I feel
That's how many ports that people can attack you on, just on HTTP. Okay. Here are your AOL Instant Messenger servers. But what we have, you have to change these paths right here. Okay. The rules. Let's look at the rules. So if I'm here, I'm going to go down into the rules folder. Is that correct? Yes. Am I going to go into the system rules? Yes. Am I going to go into the preprocessor rules? Yes. Okay. Now, if you're going to set a whitelist path or a blacklist path, you don't have to. I mean, they're in here.
What does that mean?
If I blacklist somebody, then you have to add, you have to add where this specific rule is.
But in relation
I
to
can-
what does that mean?
I can blacklist your DNS. or I can whitelist it. So anytime you try to come in, I'll know. If you have one that you know that is safe, you can blacklist it, so Snort's never going to look at that.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
That makes sense to y'all? Okay. So let's scroll down to line 120, which is right here, configuration. I'm sorry. This is a little off. On the variable rule path, you want to change this to always be where you're at. You want to use the full path instead of a relative path. I'm around line 103. Okay, so what that does is says all my rules are at this specific location. Are y'all following me?
Yeah.
So around 204, when we get into the preprocessors, I'm looking for my dynamic processor. Some of these are a little different since they've changed their configuration file. Okay, here, our dynamic preprocessor, our directory. Notice this says user local. Why do we need to change that? Because that's pointing to the Linux version. We're on the Windows version. So now that I'm in Snort, I need to go to the library, and then I need to put in the Snort dynamic preprocessor.
What are you typing to get that drop down? Does it do that automatically?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what Notepad++ is pretty cool. Huh?
Stuff that's already in Notepad,
Yeah.
right, in that file.
Mm-hmm. And then the same thing right here where you have the library.so. All you have to do is basically change user local. And you're going to want to do this to all the library files. All right. Everyone there? Understand that?
When you image, is this all going to be done?
Yes. I'm just showing you, explaining why you have to change one to another.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because if it's pointing to the Linux directory structure, obviously it's going to go, hey, what's going on? Why am I not seeing this? Okay. Now we need to go and look for my dynamic engine, which I've already changed. Which is libsefengine.so. Just making sure I have the right one. So my dynamic engine, let's go over here to the library. My dynamic engine is going to be a DLL. Right? And it's just going to be SF, not libsf. Alright? Y'all got that? So, one thing you're going to need to do is copy this because as we get down a little bit more and more. Now, with preprocessors, I can change to what it's looking for with all these port numbers here. Those are all the ones that it's really going to go harp after, and all the HTTPs. And a lot of this you're not going to even see or deal with. So, you can skip over some of these. Here's my preprocessor. My dynamic engine, where is it? These are preprocessors. To be clients. Okay, those are just all the preprocessor stuff. Okay, now notice we have the whitelist path and the blacklist that we talked about. So if we go into Snort, we want to change these paths for these whitelist and this blacklist. They're actually going to be under rules, right? So it's going to be this. Correct? Y'all with me so far? And then we have blacklist.rules, right? So we don't have that underscore in there. Any questions? Because whitelist is down here the same way. Let's validate that. Oh, I don't see a whitelist, do I? I saw the blacklist. Huh?
You haven't made one? You haven't whitelisted anything?
I have the blacklist rules. So what I got to come down here, since I said it's in here, I need to come in here, new text document, whitelist. Need to open it up, and I need to file save as all files and take off the text extension. I don't want it to add it. I'm sorry. It needs to be whitelist.rules. See, now I have a whitelist.rules that will match right here. I don't put anything in there because I'm not whitelisting anything at this point.
So the blacklist is for sites that you know to trust, and you said don't bother checking these, and the whitelist is for what?
Sites that you know that are known to be hackers or known to...
But wouldn't you just put that on your firewall and block them anyway?
You could, but IDS will allow you to see if they've gotten past your firewall. All right. Now, we get to... Here are all... These includes are all the rules that we've already set up. Then we have our preprocessor rules, decoder rules stuff. All this is... Okay, let's move things around.
Are those all Windows rules, or are they Linux-based rules?
They're rules, period. They're Snort
So
rules.
we don't have to worry about changing file path names and stuff like that?
No. I'm looking... Okay, here's my output alerts for my syslog. If I wanted to put it right here, this syslog, but since we're not going to do it. And then I have these classifications and the reference. I need to put where they're at. All right. Except they're not going to be in the rules, they're going to be in the ETC. All right. And then I need to include one other rule in here. CP info. Okay, it's already there. It's not commented out. All right. Let me go up here to look at this one here. What you do here with the configure of your output statements, what you're saying is, where am I going to load these into? So, just for now, I'm going to go ahead and uncomment the syslog, and I'm going to change this information to host equals the 127.0.0.1 with a port number of 514, because this is going to open up the Kiwi syslog. Y'all with me? The program that I got running, that syslog program.
How'd you know where it was?
Do what?
How'd you know about the 514?
My notes. But that's its port number for Kiwi6 log. And then I have my log auth, and then I'm going to do my log alert. Okay, now I'm going to save this. Pretty simple, right?
Compile it.
Now that we have it saved, I'm just going to go back in here and I'm going to look under my etc directory, or where did it go? Snort.conf, just to make sure my edits are still there. Notice I've changed that. The configuration is still there. It's exactly where I had it. So we're good on that. Now what we need to do is go to a command prompt. Come on. Now that I got my command prompt, and it helps really to run it as an administrator. So go to accessories, command prompt, run as administrator. Now I have an elevated command prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Snort directory, bin, which is the binary directory for Snort, and I'm going to do a -w. What is that telling me? It's going to tell me, do I have Snort involved? And what are my network adapters? I have one network adapter. Alright? So that tells me that that's the only one I have to run Snort against. So now that I have that, I'm going to go back to the let me just do cd snort. It's going to save some typing for me. cd bin, and then in this one I can just do snort -v -i1. You see these? There's UDPs being passed through the vSphere right now. You're looking at the packets running. They're coming through through my VM. Lengths 316, 332, 26, 26, 26, 300, 22. You notice UDP doesn't have a set packet. Remember, it's connectionless. It'll just send lots of stuff to you. That's what UDP is doing. So if you want to get out of that, you just hit Control-C. It ends. And then what this does is it gives you, we received 188 packets. I only analyzed 180 of them. Out of that 180, all 180 were Ethernet. 123 were IPv4. 120 of those that are IPv4, 123 are also UDP packets. I had 50 MPLS packets. I discarded one. Had two other types.
50 were ARP, I think, right?
No, there's that 50. Yeah, 50 ARP, not MPLS. I'm looking at a different angle. It kind of gives you an idea of what kind of traffic you had. What is the address resolution protocol? It keeps telling the VM, when I'm looking at the VM server, when it hits there, it's getting flooded with ARP saying, here's who I am. You know, that's all it's doing. But as you can tell, there's a lot you can learn from just doing this versus Wireshark, right? This gives you a lot more statistics than Wireshark. Wireshark, you're actually looking at the packet itself rather than seeing what's traversing your network. So that's why if you run them hand in hand, you can get a lot more information about people. All right? Now, let's rerun that command. Okay? While it's running, I'm going to go and open up another command prompt. Now let's do ping www.google. .com. Okay. Did you catch it? ICMP? Let me do it this way. Did y'all see that? Look at all this TCP. Pretty cool, huh? So now that I've got that, and I've done this, now let's stop it. I now have 943 packets. And all I did was open a command prompt and ping something and open up a web browser. It went to Google. I had 857 IPv4s. I had 172 UDPs. 677 TCP packets got sent just opening those two. Just opening the web browser. Pretty interesting, huh? There were 22 sent in IPv6. UDP6 is the UDP version of IP6. Does it make sense? We had 63 ARP connections and 335 other types of packets that went across.
Bad checksum?
The bad checksum? Yeah.
It says 335 bad checksum.
That mean, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Again, I'm looking at a different angle. 33 or 35% of my packets were dropped. They're bad packets.
Is that normal?
No. But it tells me that there's an error there.
Interesting.
There might be an exploit. Never know. Is that odd? Yes. So if you're a network administrator and you see this, what are you going to do? You're going to go investigate that. Now, let's put it in. We were running it in verbose mode, so let's look at something a little bit different now. Now that I'm in the binary directory, I'm just going to run a snort -ix -s hang on it L, and then I'm going to put it in the C snort etc snort.conf file. And then, I'm sorry, let's go back here. Where this X value is, it's going to be I1, which is my interface 1. Remember when I did the big W, the dash big W, and it showed me my interfaces? Let's say you have a wireless card, you have VMs running, which will give you 2 usually automatically. Then you have 2 NICs. That gives you 5 ports right there. So which one are you going to look at? In this instance, oh, I'm sorry. I need to, after I go with my -L, I'm creating a log. I'm going to put it in the snort log folder. And I want it to run with this command snort.conf against those files. Now I've got a fatal error here. What is my fatal error?
No such file or directory.
Oh, okay. I see what I did. Hang on for a second. Notice that I have right here C, snort, library, snort, dynamic engine, library. So I need to come back up here to where I have my, or scroll down here to where I have my library directories. Where was that? Right above the above this. Okay. So I'm trying to put it the snort library. Snort lib, snort dynamic engine. Okay, right here, because there's no library underneath it, right? So let's go to snort library Snort Dynamic Engine, SF. Now, I'll save it. Now we can come back up. Now what do I have? Do the same thing to the Snort, which one? Library, Snort Dynamic Rules.
Can you go to it, copy
Snort.
and paste it over?
Hang on. The dynamic rules. I bet that's under here. Or is it under preprocessor rules? Trying to remember exactly where that's at. Snort dynamic rules. Library. Dynamic preprocessor. Dynamic detection. Don't have the dynamic detection. So let me comment this line out. There it goes.
Nope.
Well, IPv4. So let's go in here to the log now. But what it's doing right here is it's going through and it's looking at and giving me looking at all these libraries, and it errored out. Here's the config. It errored out on normalized IPv4. So let me go. SMP. We're actually on. Just trying to find out where we're at. But basically, you have to go in here and troubleshoot some of these commands. But y'all get the gist of how you can actually go in there and see Snort now. I'll have the correct config file up for y'all on the new one,
Thank you.
so you don't run into these errors. But it's going to allow you to go in there and play around with it and see Snort. Do y'all have any questions? Was it interesting to see Snort actually running? I mean, you've heard about it. Didn't realize it was all command line.
No.
Is there a GUI?
Not on Snort.
Are you going to show us what some of that stuff meant at some point?
I might.
That'd be great.
Hey,
Yes.
can you open Snort back up? Will it take command prompt stuff?
It's only a command prompt.
Type color space 03.
Do what?
Type color space 03.
Yeah.
Oh, it works.
Harder to see though.
High speed stuff right there is blue.
Oh, what? Now you can't see it at all.
Our control take.
How do you change it back to white?
I don't know what the number is.
Purple.
Oh no.
Oh, right, the color stuff?
Great.
Yeah, I can't remember what, like, lime green is
Do
or something.
F0. Oh, okay.
But if there's no other questions, let me get out of here. But